go? It's not in there. Hey, MBG family. Let me go on here and find. It's 8:20.
You were doing 12.
Huh? Good night. Let's see. Hi there, nature. Hey, MBG family. We were having some reception issues. It wasn't showing on our end. Glad that you are in the building. Hey, MBG family, as you drop in, shoot us a hello so we can see who is on with us and we can tell you guys hello as well. Feel free as you jump on to go ahead and invite people to come on. Hey, Demetria, to invite people to come on and join us for this session. Hey, Marquita, how you doing? I'm just trying to set up the stuff, guys, and
so we're going to give everybody a few minutes to log on right quick. I don't think we're going to be on too long tonight. How you doing, Sanders family?
Hey, Sanders family.
What we're going to do is we're going to give everybody we're going to give a few more people time to log on. If you can swipe to the right and share. Swipe to the, hold on.
Get your swipe right.
So if you can, you could just hit the share button right at the left-hand corner of your screen. So we're just going to give a few more people time to log on.
It's comfortable. Hey, so MBG family, hi. Ron's like whispering in my ear and I'm trying to focus. But we are so glad you guys jumped on with us. I know last time we were on the scope, we said that we were not going to do another scope until we went live for the conference, but for some reason we just can't stay away from you guys. And so we have a teaching. This will possibly be our last scope though before the conference on the 14th of October. We are planning on going live from the conference. So if you are not able to come to the conference, do not fret. We're going to try to go as live as possible. We want to do the entire conference, but if we can't go live, hey Melissa, for the entire conference, we're definitely going to try to at least catch the speakers so that you guys can get some of the wonderful information that will be at the conference on October 14th in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the last day for ticket purchases. This is the last day. We literally have less than 5 tickets left, I believe, and so we're closing up shop. At the end of today at 12 o'clock is over. If you don't have a ticket, I don't know. So, need my tickets. Dupree Jackson, good evening, family. Need my tickets. Hey, Dupree.
I got you and wifey a ticket, Dupree. I already had it.
Oh, so Dupree, you are covered. Look at God. Hi, Workaholic. And so we are
What's up, Phil?
Excited to just be doing another conference pretty much that is sold out. We're excited. We have some phenomenal speakers. As I said, Ron and myself will be speaking. So will Dr. Sean Cook. So will our good speaker, author, friend,
Pastor
Emmanuel Amuzu. And so we have some wonderful word in store for you guys, some wonderful teachings to help you guys on your journey in marriage. It would be remiss of us not to address some of the tragedy that has happened today in Las Vegas. We are definitely praying for those that have been impacted in Las Vegas, those that have family members that have lost their lives, that are injured, and even the family of the person that was accused of doing this horrific thing. They seem just as astonished and shocked as we are. And so it's unfortunate when you have these mass shootings and these tragedies that take place. And so we'll definitely be keeping all of those people that are affected in our prayers. as much as possible. Also, God, I think that's the only updates, guys, we have. Today is the last day, less than 5 tickets. If you haven't gotten a ticket and you want to get your ticket, head on over to Eventbrite. Follow the link on our page to grab you a ticket. If you're jumping on with us, feel free to share the scope as we get ready to get into this teaching, get into this message. And we won't be on long tonight, so hopefully we can wrap it up. We jumped on a little late. Hopefully we can wrap it up in an hour.
Or less.
So tonight we're talking about insufficient funds.
So for those of you who may not know what that means it means depletion. It means that you don't have enough. And
it means negative.
Negative.
Insufficient.
Insufficient. Meaning that if you have not deposit anything into your bank account
Yeah.
in the last few days,
Yeah.
and you keep withdrawing, and everything is gone. That is what we're talking about.
So, guys, I had, because I believe in being so very transparent. I went to the ATM the other day, right? And so I had some things that I had needed to pay. But the way my bank account is set up, some of those things didn't quite clear. And some of the things that I wasn't expecting to kind of come through, my bank account came through. And so it left me at a deficit to withdraw what I went to the bank to withdraw. And so I went to the bank, entered this amount, and I was like, hey, I'm going to get this out. And I got a note back on the screen at Wells Fargo that said insufficient funds. And I was like, well, insufficient on who account? The ATM ain't got no money? Because I know I got some money in here to get my money out.
Now keep in mind, she is at Wells Fargo, one of the biggest banks, multi-million-dollar enterprise in America.
Yeah, so I want to blame them for not having sufficient funds. So I kind of went through, looked at my balance, pulled up my online statement, looked at what cleared, and to my surprise, some things cleared that I wasn't prepared to clear that had me at a deficit for what I needed. And so it just sparked some conversation with me and Ronald just about how we move in marriages and we move in life without balancing what we need. We do not balance deposits and withdrawals in our lives the way that we need to. And what that pretty much, and I knew before, but what that pretty much showed me is that whenever you do not take the time to truly evaluate your deposits in comparison with your withdrawals, when you need something and you have the expectation that you will be able to withdraw what you need, you may end up being surprised, frustrated, upset because you now have insufficient funds to be able to meet your needs.
And the good thing about this is you can't blame the devil.
Yes.
This is not the enemy. The enemy didn't do anything to you.
Yes.
This is you.
Yes.
And so we got to get out of the habit that if anytime something go wrong, you got to it's the devil. You know, I went and applied for a car. They didn't give me the loan. It was the devil. I went and checked my bank account. It wasn't money in there. Guess what? It was the devil.
Yep. Okay, Corey.
I tried to get a loan for my business. They didn't give me the loan. It's the devil.
The enemy just on me, y'all.
The enemy just busy. No, the enemy's not busy. Some of these are just simple principles that we have to begin to apply.
Absolutely.
As Christians, we have to begin to put those things in place. You know, if you want to have money for the future or you want to build your credit, this is not a spiritual issue right here. This is simply you being disciplined. This don't have nothing to do with the enemy.
Yeah.
This don't have nothing to do with, you being under attack financially. This simply means that you have to be disciplined in saving your money. You have to be disciplined in paying your bills. You have to be disciplined in doing what it is that you have to do to get to the next level.
Yeah. You have to be disciplined in managing what you have.
Managing what you have.
So many times this is the thing. Marriage is naturally created for the two people that are in it to deposit and withdraw what they need to sustain the marriage. That's the way marriage is set up.
And it's crazy because it was like 2 months ago we was talking about the garden and the farmers.
Yeah.
And I was saying that anything that you want more of, you have to plant that seed.
Yes.
So anything that you want more of, you have to make deposit into your marital account. So if you want more love, you have to make deposit on love.
Yeah.
You have to go to that, marital account and say, I want to deposit some love.
Yeah.
I want to deposit some patience. I want to deposit some, some of everything.
Yeah. Some intimacy, some patience, some communication.
Some kindness,
yes,
some joy,
yes,
some happiness.
Yes.
And most importantly, I know this is going to be hard to deposit. You don't have to. What?
I just know what you're about to say.
No, you don't.
Go. What you going to say? What you going to say? Say it.
Compassion.
Yeah.
So you want to begin to deposit all those things that you're going to need to store up for your marital account.
Yes. So let's hit it. Let's get to some points. Point number 1, uno. Never expect to withdraw what you have not deposited into your marriage or your relationship. Never expect to make a withdrawal of something that you have not deposited into your marriage or relationship.
Now, she's going to give you the marital point of view. I'm just going to give you the real life point of view. So basically, if you get paid on Friday and your check is $500 every week, and on Saturday you withdraw $500 out of your account. So that basically means you don't have any more money left. So on Monday or Tuesday, you can't go back to the bank and then try to make another withdrawal of $500, knowing that no money have been deposited into your account, but you're still going to the bank trying to make withdrawal. That will not happen. Now she's going to give it to you from the marital realm of making deposits and withdrawal.
Yeah. And so this is the thing, guys. A lot of times people expect or have the expectation that when they get married, naturally the marriage is going to come with this bank field of things that you can just pull from. So many people get into marriages and they expect that the marriage will be stocked fully for them to pull from and make withdrawals from the marriage from the go. That is not how marriage works. You have to invest. Marriage begins with investment. You only can take away from marriage what you put into marriage. And so anytime that you have the expectation to come and withdraw from a marriage where you have not sown into, you have not deposited what you are looking now to fill a need, you will be at a deficit. Many of us get frustrated in marriage because we come to our marriages and we expect our spouses to be able to communicate effectively. Now, they may have had a deficit, right? When we were dating them in communication, they may have had that may be an area where they lack the funds to be able to truly communicate. Yeah. But then we get married and we're like, hey, okay, it's different now. We married. Look, you need to learn how to talk. I need you to learn how to talk today. And we expect now to be able to pull conversation from that person. We expect to be able to pull their emotions, their feelings, and for them to express themselves when they are still very much at a deficit. And so when you find yourselves in situations such as that, like you have somebody that lacks patience, you have somebody that lacks the ability to communicate effectively, you have somebody that lacks control, what you have to do now, because you're now in this covenant, you have to begin to stock up your marital account or your relationship account with those things. And so you have to begin to deposit more communication. You have to be the one initiating the communication. You have to be the one pouring into that person, pulling at that person to be able to articulate their needs and their feelings. Because think about it. When you deposit into your account from a place of lack, you're already behind. And so you can't put enough to get it back to where it's even. You got to put overflow, because naturally somebody on the receiving end is lacking. And so if I got to now put in enough communication to sustain my marriage for me and Ronald, then I have to be able to give enough for me to pull from and enough for him to pull from. So many times in marriages, all that we do is we give what we have. We like, okay, this is enough for me. Like, I know how to communicate. I'm going to give what I know how to do, and that's it. He going to have to learn how to do what he needs to learn how to do. And it can't work like that. So we have to be able to deposit more. And so anytime you're in a place of lack, in order to get out the deficit deficit, you have to deposit twice as much as you withdraw. Every time you make a withdrawal, you have to deposit twice as much as that just to be able to get ahead.
Yeah.
And that's where we struggle so much, because we come to marriages and we're like, okay, I'm married. Now we're going to be able to move solidly. We're going to be able to give each other what we need. And no, we all come to the table with lack in some area. Mm-hmm. There's something that we all have to grow in when we get married. There's an area that is there that God has let reside there, that the marriage can grow and that the marriage can prosper in. And when you're willing to work together to deposit what you need, everybody can always pull from the marital bank and get what they need because it's full.
So in the physical world, basically how this works is everybody come in with a negative.
Yeah.
So your bank account is already on negative when you guys join that union together.
Yes.
So now what you have to begin to do is deposit some positive accounts into your marital account. So if you're already in negative, you got to already start making some deposits of love.
Yeah.
You got to start making some deposits of patience.
Yeah.
You got to make some deposits of kindness. You got to make some deposits of, some fruits of the spirit. Mm-hmm. And so you got to begin to deposit those things to build your account up.
Yeah.
So when it's time to start withdrawing, you'll have those things already there to withdraw.
Yeah. And it reminds me, because when you think about it, this is what we do in marriage and relationships. And so we look to withdraw from our marital account in an area that we have not fed, that we have not deposited anything into. Now, how foolish would it be for us to go to the ATM? It says insufficient funds. We know we have not deposited the funds needed to make a withdrawal. We proceed to go inside the bank, say, hey, let me speak to the bank manager. We get the bank manager and we say, hey, now look, I know I have not made deposits in this account to be able to withdraw what I am requesting. But I need y'all to fix that. Like, I need to be able to pull from this account where I have deposited nothing into. I need you to make that happen. We see that as ludicrous to do to a bank with a bank manager, but we do it in our marriages every day. We do it in our relationships every day. We come to the table frustrated with the marriage, frustrated with the person, yet we have done nothing as far as depositing anything into our marital or relationship account to be able to make a withdrawal. And we're sitting there frustrated for no reason, really because of our own. Because of ourselves, because we haven't done the work. And I think the mission you asked, what if they don't want to communicate? You are trying to get them to communicate, but they are not just willing. This is the thing. And I always say this because it's so very real to this generation in our times. We live in a very fast-paced society. We live in this microwave society where we want what we want when we want it. We want it right now. We have no time to waste. We have no time to wait. We have no patience. We have no time. And so now we're putting so much pressure on marriages and situations that may have typically taken a year to 3 years to matriculate and grow in an area. We're putting 2 months, 1 week, 1 day demands on that change. The thing about change is change happens when it happens. Now, we get frustrated with change because we want to control change. Change cannot be controlled. That's number one. When you're married, you have no control over change.
That's true.
You have none. None whatsoever, especially in relation to your spouse. You have no control over that. The only thing you have control over is your perspective on the situation, is your outlook on the situation, is the way that you will choose to handle the situation. That's the only thing you have control over. And so if we begin to control the way we see the situation, and that's what we're talking about, like our conference, talking about thinking it strong and really the perspectives and the way that you think about your marriage and your relationship, and you begin to really think about it and say, you know what? Okay, I realize my husband has an issue with communication. He has a problem communicating. He's probably 38. Let's say he's 38. Now, if he's 38, that means he's had an issue with communication for 38 years. Here now, we have been married 3 years or 5 years. And I'm expecting this huge difference in his communication style for somebody that has been doing this for 38 years. That's unrealistic.
Yeah.
We got to begin to really think about the time frame it takes for us to change the behaviors and the habits that we had prior to coming into a marriage. Yes, we feel like as adults, you should be able to do some basic adult things, but everybody out here is not adulting well. Everybody is not. Everybody does not have adulting down pat. So you have to work with your spouse. Nobody chooses your spouse for you now. In this day and age in America, you choose your spouse. And so if you've chosen this person based on dating and spending time with them, you said yes to the areas of lack. And when you say yes to the areas of lack, now you know going into your marriage, this is an area that I have to deposit more into if I'm expecting to withdraw.
Yeah, and then you can't go into the situation knowing that that's the issue.
Yeah.
And then you get married and now you're annoyed, you're frustrated, you're disgusted, and you want to give up.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because you said for better or for worse. Now, for those who are in a relationship, if you miss the red flag, that's going to be on you.
Yep.
Because nothing changed when you guys get married.
Yep.
If this person have a communication problem before you get married,
Yep.
when you get married, nothing changes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so those are things that we got to start thinking about. And we talk about that in the book, Finding a Good Thing.
Yep.
Basically what that is when you think you have found a good thing, you should be able to be honest and upfront with this person. This is my baggage.
Yep.
This is what I'm bringing to the table. This is what I have right here. This is all me.
Yep.
Can you accept this? And you have that option. Now, if somebody fool you and trick you,
Yeah.
and you fall for it, then that's a whole different story.
Yeah. But how much time have you spent really assessing if that's a good thing to be tricked? See, a lot of times we find when somebody say, hey, this person tricked me, what was the time frame of learning and really seeing and assessing that person? Like, how much time did you spend really digging to see who they were? Like, to get to know them, what kind of situations were you in? Because I like to think that it's very hard to get tricked.
Well, I think
This day and age. It's so much, it's so many like avenues to take to get to see who somebody is.
Well, I think a lot of times now when dating now, people just looking for the qualities that they want in life.
Yeah.
You know, whether the person, have a nice car, if the person work, if the person look like he has some ambition or some personality drive. And some people just look at physical qualities. Mm-hmm. Does she have long hair? Does she have a nice shape? Mm-hmm. Not knowing that all things going to change in due time.
Yeah.
And so, do this person hang out at night?
Yeah.
Do this person like to have fun?
Yeah.
And so once you find, 50%, you ain't going to find Mr. Right. You're going to find Mr. Almost Right. Mm-hmm. You ain't going to find Mrs. Right. You're going to find almost, Miss Almost Right. Mm-hmm. And you take that as your foundation and begin to build on that.
Yeah.
But I think we look for the wrong things.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's okay to look for some physical.
Yeah, you want to be attracted to who you want to spend your life with.
But you also got to look at some qualities and some spiritual qualities in a person too. Mm-hmm. Do this person, know God? Mm-hmm. Because then you can't expect for your man to love you like Christ loved the church when he don't even know who Christ is.
Come on now. Absolutely.
So they're just going to be, that's ludicrous to even go in it, to even think that.
Absolutely.
And then you say, you want a Proverb 31 woman when nothing about her says that. And you know that. These are things that we know going into it.
Yeah.
But like you said, some people start to think that I can change this person. Mm-hmm. The Bible talks about, one sow the seed, one water the seed, and God does the increase. So the increase is basically the growth.
Yep.
So you can put seeds, you can water the person.
Yep.
But you cannot grow that person.
You cannot produce the growth.
You cannot change that person. No, you can't take them 2 more inches. You can't do none of that.
Yep.
Only thing you can do is plant the seed and water it and then allow God. And so to make it in a marital form, only thing you can do is you can pray for that person. You can stand by that person. But as far as changing that person, you can't do it.
You can't do it. And that's good because that's a great segue to our next point, which is point number 2, which says God gives us all an opportunity to earn what we need to deposit. God gives us all an opportunity to earn what we need to deposit. so many times, marriages struggle not because we don't have what we need to be successful, but because we won't tap into the source to get what we need to be successful. We all have access to what we need to have a successful marriage. Marriages, like we said earlier, are created for us all to grow. When you are created to grow, it is going to require you to pretty much deposit love, trust, friendship, commitment, intimacy, vision, all of those things you are to put into your marriage. Now, if you have an issue in certain areas, everything that you need, you can go get from God. Everything that you need to be successful in a marriage, you can get by building your relationship with God.
And that's why the Bible says, seek me first.
Yep.
Seek me first.
Yeah.
The kingdom of God.
Yeah.
And all things will be added unto you. All things will be. So we don't seek him.
Mm-hmm.
So how you expect to get everything that God has for you when he giving you everything that you need to say, hey, just seek me first.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want a Proverb 31 woman? Seek me first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You want a better communication with your spouse, a successful marriage? Seek me first.
Absolutely.
And so we don't do that.
Mm-mm.
We go in and we trying to change things, and when things don't go as planned or as we plan, you know what we say? Jesus, take the wheel.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
No, you should have been sitting in the back seat anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus should have been driving your life anyway.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna say, what if they don't want to see your growth? This is the thing about growth. Growth is truly never really for someone else to acknowledge. Growth is really for us. And so when plants grow, I don't think they in the garden like, hey, boom, boom, look at me, acknowledge me, I'm tall. I mean, they don't do that. Like, so really, anytime you grow, the growth feeds you first. Like, so anybody acknowledging it that's like second nature. That's something not even to worry about. Because truly, if you're growing the way God is intending for you to grow, whether your spouse acknowledges it or not, it will have an impact.
And I think a lot of times we as people, we as Christians, we depend too much on other people's validation.
That's it.
For us to be able to, to continue to grow.
Absolutely.
And I think a few months ago, I talked about a Chinese bamboo stick.
Mm-hmm.
So basically how this plant grows is, for the first 5 years, it grows underground. It grows, actually, it don't grows up, it grows down.
Yep.
And this is one of the tallest trees in the entire world.
Yeah.
But the first 5 years of this tree, it grows downward.
Mm-hmm.
So you never get to see it. It's germinating, it's growing, but nobody never see it.
Yeah.
I mean, it don't sprout not 1 inch above ground level.
Mm-hmm.
But underground, it is growing straight down. And after the 5 years, it shoots straight up. I mean, it can grow like 6 feet, a month.
Yeah.
But it's one of the tallest trees in the world.
Yeah.
So if someone is not seeing your growth, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because you may be like the Chinese bamboo stick. You're growing, but nobody is seeing it. But at some point in your life, things will begin to change.
Yeah.
And people are going to see your growth.
Yeah, yeah. But somebody's inability to acknowledge your growth does not take away from your growth. At the end of the day, if you are able to see that last year I was here and this year I am here, be proud of the work that you've done. Be proud of the work that you've done that can positively affect or impact your marriage, your relationship. Don't look for the applause, because it's not about that. Growth at the end of the day is really for us to continue to move. And anytime you're looking for that acknowledgement, seek it from God. Like, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you're on track the way you need to be on track, and say, God, hey, if I'm not moving the way you need me to move and this is not enough growth for you, help me to grow further. Don't look for it for somebody else, because people, when you look for applause, people will always let you down. They will always let you down. Absolutely seek God first. They will always let you down. And so you got to be able to really self-validate. Like, you got to be able to validate your own growth, and you got to be able to be comfortable and happy in your own growth, because at the end of the day, you may never get that. They may never be able to see or really acknowledge your growth, but it's still there, and it's still effective, and it's still impactful to your marriage.
I agree.
So we're talking about we're talking about point 2, that God gives us all an opportunity to earn what we need to deposit. I'm trying to see how I wanted to say this, guys. So many times we see marriages and relationships, like the new thing is like marriage goals or relationship goals.
Relationship goal, yeah, that's one of them.
I almost cannot think of a person that I want to have their relationship goal. Like, they're not my relationship. I don't have a relationship goal person. And I say that because sometimes we get so stuck looking at someone else's relationship, and that becomes the goal, right? But perhaps God has so much more in store for you and your relationship if the focus is turned internally instead of externally. And so I say this to say that everybody that is a relationship goal to somebody had the same opportunity of the person admiring them. So the same person that you're admiring, their relationship, God has allowed you to have that same earning potential for your marriage or your relationship. Now, you may not be doing the work required to reach that status. And this is what people don't want to hear. People want, to be acknowledged. They want to have this union, this covenant that just seems like it's just magical and wonderful. But then when you tell them how to get it and how to go about it, this is what we typically get. Oh, I ain't trying to be no fool. That's unrealistic. That just sounds like too much. So I just supposed to do X, Y, Z? I'm supposed to be the sucker. Oh, they just supposed to be able to walk all over me. But that's not even what we said. No. All we're talking about is applying the principles that God says apply in your life.
And even with being a fool, the Bible talks about God will use the foolish things of this world to confine the wise. So what may be foolish in man's eye is wise in the eyes of God. It's a lot of times where we done coach couple, and maybe the man has went out and cheated, and the woman decided that she gonna stay. She had a conversation with God. She said, "No, I'm not gonna leave my marriage." The world gonna look at that as foolish.
Yep.
Now, this situation is not for everybody. Everybody's situation is different. We're just talking about a situation that we was doing coaching on, and the world would look at her as being a foolish woman. This man has cheated on you. He have did X, Y, Z on you, and you're gonna stay. It's you can do better. But after having a conversation with God, and she said, "Hey, I'm gonna stand for my marriage." She stays in the marriage. Everything works out for their good.
They prosper.
And they prosper.
And they move forward.
And they growing now from that situation. But like I said, everybody's situation is different. I'm just talking about their situation.
Because the thing about it is, like I tell people all the time, you can have whatever kind of relationship and marriage that you desire if you're willing to do the work. Now, you can't sit back and take worldly concepts, right, and expect to experience an abundant marriage, because God comes that you may have life and have it abundantly. That's a godly principle. That's a godly gift. And so if you don't attach your marriage to God, you can't have this abundance that he's talking about, because you're not connected to the source. But what we do is, and this is the thing about being connected to the source. When you're connected to the source, yes, he gives you the resources that you need. But the source also requires you to line up in position to receive the funds. Like, you can't be doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
When you want to do it. How you want to do it. With who you want to do it with. And expect to get the resources of God. It doesn't work like that. You can't expect this abundant marriage when you don't want to line up your marriage with godly principles. And that's the thing. So God gives us all the opportunity to maximize our relationship, to maximize our marriages. But we have to do the work to be connected to the source so that we can have the resources in our marital account or our relationship account to be able to pull from when needed. That's what we have to do. And so many times, a lot of people don't want to do the work. It takes a lot to build what you need to deposit to have in a marriage relationship.
That's
and just
true.
think about it. So as a believer, you begin to as a believer, God releases the Holy Spirit in you when you come to Christ and you're like, okay, you give your life to God and you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. You get the Holy Spirit, right?
Right.
Now, the Holy Spirit has these things called the fruits of the Spirit that they come in seed form, right? So when you get the Holy Spirit, you get the fruits of the Spirit. They're in seed form. Now, your job is to plant and cultivate these seeds in order that they grow and are fruitful in your life, in every area of your life. So, fruits of the Spirit: joy, peace, kindness, patience, self-control, gentleness, faithfulness, goodness. These are the fruits of the Spirit. Now, when I listen to what the fruits of the Spirit is, those basic things in your marital account can impact your marriage dramatically.
Yeah.
Like just those fruits of the Spirit.
Just those
cultivating those, depositing those, moving with those can change and shift your marriage in a positive way. That's just the fruits of the Spirit. That's not even everything else that the Bible talks about that we need to cultivate in our lives. That's just the fruits of the Spirit. So when you see people that know God and profess to love God and say they have a relationship with God, but they don't even cultivate these fruits of the Spirit in their marital account or their relationship account, then something's not right. There's a disconnect from the source, because when you're connected to the source is going to require you to cultivate his fruits, because I planted the seeds in you. So when you're connected to the source, I'm going to give you everything you need for that garden to grow. And that garden that has the fruits of the Spirit is connected to the source, then it's going to naturally grow. And you're going to begin to see it, in your life. You'll see it in your marriage. You'll see it with your parenting. You'll see it in your family. You'll see it in your career. You'll see it in your business. You'll see it in your friendships. You will see the fruits of the Spirit begin to move. And you'll have all of these accounts. And we're talking about the account of marriage and relationship, your marital account. But this is true of any account that you have. This is true of your friendship account. This is true of your parenting account. This is true of your family account. This is true of all of those things. Anytime you go and you deposit the right things, and you deposit more of what you need than you withdraw, you will always be at a surplus. You will always have sufficient funds. You will never go to that account and try to pull from it and come up short. But we don't do the work to have a surplus. You got to do the work to have a surplus. And having a surplus begins with having a relationship with God, having a connection with God, and really letting God move in your life.
And I was going to say, even with, I got you.
Oh, you put point three? Okay.
Even when you're talking about saving physically, it takes discipline.
Yeah.
And so it all starts with discipline. How disciplined are you to save? Mm-hmm. And so even when you want to start putting up those fruits of the Spirit into your marital account, it takes discipline. Mm-hmm. Yeah, kindness sounds good.
Oh, it sounds good.
Until someone, rub you the wrong way. When your spouse rub you the wrong way.
Yeah.
And
your flesh is like, be kind to who?
Yeah. Having compassion sound good until you are rubbed the wrong way. See, this is where you really find out how strong your marriage is.
Come on now.
This is where if you really want to test the fruits of the Spirit, it's good to say, I have a praise dance, stretch your hand to God, and all. That's all good.
Absolutely.
But go through something.
Oh my God.
And then show me your spiritual card.
Absolutely.
Then go make those deposits.
Yep.
See, some of us won't even make it to the bank to make a withdrawal when we've been rubbed the wrong way. And we can be done stored up some patience. We done stored up some kindness. We done stored up some love. But when real situation happen, you ain't trying to make no withdrawal.
Although it's there.
Although it's there, because you know why? You start having thoughts from the enemy. You ain't got to go withdraw that. Patience, you ain't got to have no patience. You. Do you. If they don't want to adjust to you, you better than that. Somebody you ain't never had to show nobody patience. And see, people start to think about when the Bible talks about turning the other cheek, it's more than just like, it's not a physical slap where somebody slap you and then nah. Humility.
Yeah.
Let somebody rub you the wrong way. You say, you know what, man, I forgive you. You know what? It's all good. It's cool. And you can move forward.
Yeah.
See, that's what that's all about.
Yeah.
How many of us can do that?
Yeah. Yeah. You just reminded me of a situation. I was with one of my girlfriends and we were going to lunch for work. And I told Ronald about this situation. So we were in the car and we were trying to get out our parking space and get out the parking garage to go to the restaurant. And so this guy was coming down the wrong way. We had the right of way. We were going down the right way. He was coming down the wrong way. And so we were literally like, the space was so tight that we had to go through all this extra maneuvering to get around him to come out. And so my girlfriend and naturally got frustrated. And she was like going off in the car with me. I can't believe he did this and da-da-da-da. And all he could see from where he was, just us kind of like talking. So he pulled, because we had to squeeze by each other. We had to go slow. So he pulled alongside of us and rolled his window down. And my girlfriend rolled her window down. And he proceeded to say, "Look, ladies, I am so very sorry. I just realized that I was coming down the wrong way. I saw you guys were kind of frustrated in the car. I just want to humbly say I am sorry. I had no intent to ruin your day. I pray that God allows you girls to have a wonderful and blessed day. Please forgive me for my oversight." Now, you talking about two people who felt like a plum fool, like real stupid. Because in that moment, we had both got so frustrated about nothing. And here this man was by no means trying to intentionally ruin our day or trying to intentionally harm us in any way. But we got so quick in our feelings and so quick in our emotions that it just set us all afire. And he apologized. And so in that moment, we had to humble ourselves, like, "Sorry, Lord. Yeah, that was like, it wasn't even that serious. Oops, okay, you have a blessed day too." You know how somebody check you after you aren't so godly like. You know how, like, when you know you ain't been godly like, and God allows a godly like person, like Ronald was talking about, to come into your presence and to really humble you. That don't feel good. It don't feel good, but it's a life lesson that we all have to have. And it made me think about when you were saying that you can have patience and kindness stored up, but then when you're placed in a position where now you're frustrated and you don't want to go to the bank and make that withdrawal of patience or that withdrawal of kindness for your spouse, we call that you have reached your daily limit. So guys, when you go to the ATM, right, for many of you who, if you ain't balling 100% rich, they have what is called a daily limit that you can withdraw money from the ATM. Those limits vary. So let's say your daily limit at this ATM is $500. You can withdraw $500 a day with your ATM card. Anything else, you're going to have to come to the bank and take out. We do this in our marriage and our relationships. When we become frustrated and we feel like we have given enough funds of love that day, and somebody comes pulling for more love that day, we blow up and we say, "Well, pump your brakes. You reached your limit today. I don't have no more love for you." Now, we got love in this marital bank, but it's going to require us now to do more work to get it. So now I got to get out my car. I got to go into the bank and I got to actually take the money out the account. That's so inconvenient. Like, I just want to be able to pull it out the ATM. Yeah. And sometimes what is in your bank isn't as convenient to pull out. Sometimes you got to work a little harder to withdraw the resources that you have in order to utilize them for your marriage. That comes with self-control, which was one of the fruits of the Spirit. If you're not able to control self in situations where you become frustrated and situations where you now have to go into your marital bank and dig for those resources, you're not going to be able to really maximize your marriage. You're not going to be able to maximize your relationship because you're not going to be willing to do the work to go make the withdrawal. But it's there.
It's there.
So it's important, guys, to be able to stay connected to the source to make the withdrawal. I'm going to skip to point 3.
And before you skip to point 3, I know I just seen some people jumping on, some people just coming on. If you're just joining us, this would probably be the last scope that we would do before the conference. The conference is October the 14th. If you haven't got your tickets, I think we have about 6 more tickets.
Nope, less than 5.
Okay, we have less than 5 tickets available if you just go to MBG page, follow the link, and
it's in Atlanta.
And it's Atlanta.
'Cause I know we got some people that are not here. So
And we'll also be
go ahead.
recording live. So
Yes.
you'll be able to jump on and see some of it. We'll have some little snippets of it. And so we're going to move to point 3.
Point 3, God doesn't fill your marital bank to blow the resources foolishly. God does not fill your marital bank to blow the resources foolishly. Now,
You know, kind of how we do with our money.
oh my God.
We get paid on Friday, and then we just start, just doing crazy, foolish nonsense
Yes.
stuff. And for those of you who has joined us, my wife was just talking about how she went to the bank and she tried to withdraw some money, and nothing was there.
Because the way my bank account set up, it don't work.
No, the way her brain is set up, the way her spending habits is set up, it doesn't allow her to reap all the benefits that God had for her.
It didn't.
And
it
now,
didn't. I was like, insufficient.
and this was on Friday, and a lot of people do this, and then on Saturday or Sunday when you go to church, you asking God to release those spiritual funds into your physical account.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
so
yeah.
we definitely don't want to get to that place anymore.
That is so true. That is so true. So God does not. And look, if we are honest, all of us have had moments, foolish spending moments. I can think times in my young 20s where I had money that I just literally blew. It was on the stupidest stuff. It was just money blew. And then as I got older, I was like, if I only had that opportunity again, I would not make that same decision. How foolish of me to have done that.
And see, you don't want to live your life that way.
Absolutely.
Even in your marriage, if I just would have just stayed at home.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have went with my girls, or if I wouldn't have went with my boys, or none of this wouldn't have happened if I would just stayed at home. If I just would have chilled with my wife, none of this wouldn't have happened. She told me not to go, or he told me not to go,
Yeah.
or he wanted me to just spend time with him. But
Yeah.
if I just would have did more of that, I wouldn't have been in this place. So if I just would have saved that money and not went out, or if I wouldn't have bought those shoes that I wanted from DSW that was $99, if I wouldn't have bought that,
The
or
shade.
what?
Go
I'm
ahead,
just
honey.
saying.
Go ahead,
Or
honey.
if I wouldn't have went to Macy's
Don't name no other store I shop
and went
at.
to Mac, if I wouldn't have did that, I could have had that money in my account. I'm not talking about her. I'm just talking about some things that we could do with our money. So in the marital world, if we would just take the time out to be disciplined,
Yeah.
because the way that you marry, the way that you measure love is by the sacrifices that you make. Your people may want to hang out on Friday.
Yeah.
But spend some quality time with your wife.
Yeah.
Spend some intimate time with your wife. Invest in your significant others, man. I mean, that's how you put up that pension for a lifetime. You start investing in that person now. Investing in making it. Because if a person can't bring value to your life, I honestly don't see the need.
Absolutely.
If a person can't make you better, if a person can't take you to the next level,
Yeah.
mentally, physically, and even sexually, if a person can't take you there, I don't see what's the reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah. Absolutely.
We shouldn't even cross this line. We just could have stayed on the friend zone. You got the friend zone. Let's just stay in the friend zone. If that's, you either roll with it or get rolled over.
Yeah.
That's my way of thinking.
Yeah. Because God is about growth and increase. Like, don't let people fool you. God is about growth and increase. And so if God is the God of marriage, he is about growth and increase in your marriage. He is about ensuring that you have what you need when you need it in your marriage and your relationship. He is an abundant God wanting you to live an abundant life. Abundance and lack do not reside in the same place. They just don't. Like, so at the end of the day, if God is a God of abundance and we're not experiencing abundance across the board in our lives, then we are somewhere we're not applying the principles that God has laid out.
And see, this is why it is so hard for people to not, I want to say come to Christ, but to transition to the Christian faith. Because how can you tell me that I can be blessed by coming to church to meet or to have a encounter with your God, I don't see that on you.
Mm.
I need evidence.
Yeah.
You see, in these times, I need to see some evidence.
Yeah.
For somebody who don't know about faith, and you trying to minister them, and you trying to pull them in, I need to see evidence. Show me. Like, where is it?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying on a materialistic level, but I need to see what God blessing you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you can't be busted telling me, like, God, he will do it. And I'm looking at you like, dude, what?
Yeah. But even if you, like you said, not on material level, take it to what we talking about. How many of us go to church every Sunday? We interact with people who are married in relationships every Sunday, and they are pretty much struggling. They getting divorced left and right. They not enjoying their marriages. They miserable. They depressed. They stressed. But yet and still, here is this God of abundance that I serve and that I'm praising, and then I'm still here in this lack for 5 years. Like, God doesn't have the lack. So somewhere between the source and the person that needs to be connected to the source is a disconnect.
It's a disconnect.
So
and we don't call that money over here. I'm just saying.
Really?
For the church people, that was like some
Yeah,
Jay-Z type
I
stuff.
mean, but
yeah.
that is so true, because at the end of it, you are a representation of Christ. You are a representation of what it is to be connected to God.
And you have to carry yourself like you are connected to Christ.
Yes.
Groom yourself.
Yes.
You know, get your hair cut like Rudy every week.
Yeah.
But you have to be presentable, man. When somebody
Yes.
see you, they should be able to see the God in you.
Yes.
Not just from the outside, but when you don't even have to speak.
No.
The spirit should be moving in you. When you walk in the room, somebody will say it's something different. It's something just happened. The atmosphere just changed.
Your heart can't be heavy every day.
No.
Like,
I'm so sick of that.
Your heart cannot be heavy every day, and you have God every day.
How can you do the Bible scripture challenge, and right after the 7 days, you go back to, ain't nothing going right in my life?
Absolutely.
I mean, my heart is heavy.
Yeah.
You know, ain't nobody died.
Yeah.
But your heart is heavy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that tells me you are spiritually dying, because that's why your heart is heavy.
You're not feeding. You're not making deposits.
You're not making deposits. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Good. And they're about to close your
account.
Yeah. Your marital account, because you're not making any deposits.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that's what it comes down to. So we said God doesn't fill your marital bank to blow the resources foolishly. And this is what it looks like when we blow the resources foolishly in our marital bank. And so let's say that we store up some love, right? And we know people that are just very loving. Like, there's some people out there that they just got love all over them. Like, they love everybody. Like, they don't meet a person that they not going to shower with some love. You got people that are just like that, loving people. And so we get into a marriage with this loving person. And because they have an abundance of love, we take for granted their love. So we begin to do things that withdraw from their love more than a normal person, because we feel like they have an abundance of it. Yeah. So you can do without it. So I can tend to do some things that may hurt you, that may cause you pain, because I know at the core of who you are an abundance of love. So you're going to probably forgive me. You're going to still be there for me. You're going to give me the love I need. And I'm going to take you for granted, because here you are overstocked with the abundance of love. That is just as foolish as having an account full of money, and because the account is full of money, you're going to spend money every day frivolously. That's foolish, because sooner or later, that account is going to be depleted, because you are withdrawing way more than you need to sustain you. And that's what we do in marriages and relationships. We begin to take the resources for granted, and we spend them foolishly. We cheat on people that are faithful to us because we feel like their faithfulness will override their hurt from the cheating. So then we say, you know what? Yeah, they'll stick around. I know they'll forgive me. I got time to make it up. I got time to make it up. I got time to make some deposits back into this account. Time is not promised to anyone. Circumstances change every day. I have a lot of intent to deposit and save money. Like, I know money is coming. I can see it. I'm expecting certain amounts. And then when life happens, I have to reroute money. So what I initially thought I might be able to deposit, I mean, it might be another month. So imagine in your marriage or your relationship, you think you have time to make up. You think you have time to come back and deposit where you have frivolously spent somebody's love, somebody's commitment, somebody's patience, somebody's forgiveness, and you are not allotted the time to come back and deposit there. Now you have created a deficit because of your bad spending habits, because of your foolishness and just spending because an abundance is there. You cannot take people for granted, guys, when you are in a marriage and you are in a relationship. Just because somebody comes with an abundance of something doesn't give you a right to abuse that abundance. You can't. Demetrius said, what happened to point 3? Hopefully it's still up there somewhere.
I pin it back up.
Ronald said he'd pin it back up. So you got to be able to appreciate the resources that you have, and you got to be able to really strategically be mindful of what you withdraw so that you don't abuse the abundance that is in your marital account or your relationship. Point 4, if you want to experience an abundance of resources in your marital account, you must deposit more than you withdraw. You must deposit more than you withdraw. If you want to experience an abundance of resources in your marital account, you must deposit more than you withdraw. So it's the same principle when we talk about money. You got to save. Like, you got to actually be willing to give more than you take. You got to be willing to put in place more than what you need. You really only should be using what you need.
That's true.
A lot of times we don't use what we need. We use what we want. We want some more attention. You may not need some more attention right then. So we make this big old fuss about attention. The attention gets withdrawn. And then at a moment where we're at a lack, there's no more attention to withdraw because we used it when we really didn't even need it in the first place. The same is true about anything that you deposit into your marriage or into your relationship at the end of the day. If you want more of it, you got to double it. Like I said, for everyone, that's the only way you're going to get to an abundance of that in your marriage. If you want love,
you have to deposit.
You got to deposit double the amount of love. Because love is going to get withdrawn. So if you only give 50% of love and your spouse is already lacking in depositing love into the account, 50% is already gone. You have nothing to carry on to the next month. And so you always got to double deposit pretty much what you need. So if you need to get your love to 100%, you may need to put 200 in there. So when I spend this 100, I still have another 100. You got to prepare for the future.
And I think that's just the principle of saving when it comes to money as well. You know, we have to, you could put up $50 a week.
Yep.
But putting up 100 is even better. And it all comes down to discipline.
Yep.
You have to just be disciplined in what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Point number 5, do not prevent your spouse from withdrawing from you what you have because you have more than them in that area. So look, guys, this marital account, this relationship account we're talking about, it's a joint account. Like, it's a joint account, guys. It's not like your account. So anybody that is in that marriage, in that covenant, can withdraw from that account because it's a joint account. Now, typically when we have joint accounts, we talk about what's going in, what's coming out, what you put in. You're looking at what you put in, what they put in. Now, if you focus on your marital account, the way you focus on your financial account about what's coming in and what's going out, as far as who's doing it, you're going to start to feel cheated the moment that you're putting in more
that's good,
than your significant other or your spouse. And so you can't go looking at this joint marital account and assess who's putting in more and then decide what you're going to do from that point. Because naturally, if we look at who's putting in more and you realize that you're the one giving more, you're going to start to feel cheated. And in your feelings of being cheated, you're going to begin to withhold resources that you have that could be deposited because now you're feeling like you're being cheated and you're being played. And you're like, I'm not going to put more in than what they putting in because this is what we do.
No, because nobody want to be played for a fool.
Oh, yeah.
And like we like to tell people a lot, man, marriage is not 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage is 90, 90-10, 75-25, 60-40, 85-15. And so you may, at one point of your marriage or one point of y'all relationship, you may be putting in more love than your spouse.
Absolutely.
You may be putting in more kindness than your spouse.
Absolutely.
You may be even giving more sex than your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
But that can turn at any time.
Yeah.
So you never lose when you have the joint account.
You never lose.
What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm putting in more at this particular time,
yep,
it may be a point where I'm frustrated and I don't feel like putting in love.
Yep.
I don't feel like, depositing, my 10% of love.
Mm-hmm.
And so then what the spouse would have to do, the significant other have to do, they'll just put in 100% of love.
Mm-hmm.
I understand my spouse may be at a deficit point right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to counter that by putting in more love, putting in more respect, putting in more sex,
yep,
putting in more kindness,
yep,
more joy,
yep,
more peace.
Yep.
Just start depositing like crazy.
Yeah.
To flood the account.
Yep.
And so when that person see that the account has been flooded, there's no way that that person can, can lose on that.
There's no way the team can lose.
There's no way the team can lose.
And so you can't have a joint marital account and begin to look at it as a separation thing. Like you can't divide it. So it can't be what I put in and what you put in because this is a one account. This is a joint. This is us. And like the moment that you begin to put the line in place of division, it's going to start to have you playing against each other.
And that also can be the thought of the enemy as well, because what happened is once you get to a point where you feeling like you putting in more, that's when you done gave separation for the enemy to come in and be like, yeah, you know what, you will put in more.
Yeah, don't do that.
Look at all what you doing. Look, they
don't even appreciate it.
You just keep showing them love. They ain't even say thank you.
They ain't even speak to you today.
And so he'll start playing on that.
Yeah.
So you have to be real careful with that, even when you're going through that phase.
Absolutely. You got to be careful about what you release into the atmosphere. And let me just give y'all a little scripture on that. It says in Matthew 5:42, give to him who asks of you, and do not turn away from him who wants to borrow from you. Do not turn away from him who wants to borrow from you.
Do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you.
Now, so if you want a marriage, and I'm a little short on patience this month, it doesn't benefit us for you to see my lack of patience and now decide that you're going to have a lack of patience too. Even though you have patience. That is crazy. That is not beneficial to the marriage union. That is not beneficial to the marriage account. But that's a lot of times what we do because the flesh takes over. We get in our feelings, we get in our emotions, and then we're like, you know what? Nah, no, I'm not doing it. You want to act like that? Okay, we're both gonna be stupid. That's the dumbest thing. Like, you know how you get so mad that you just get in your mind and you decide that you just gonna be as stupid as the person acting stupid.
No, that's when you done got in your feelings.
Yeah, and you feel justified. Like, you feel good about it. You're like, okay, yeah.
And we don't even listen to what we say.
Exactly.
Okay, since you going to act stupid, I'm going to act stupid.
I'm going to act stupid. We're just going to be two stupid people.
Just look how that sounds.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's foolish, but we don't think about it because at that moment we operating in our flesh. We're not using godly wisdom. We're not using godly thought. And instead of getting to a place that we're frustrated with somebody's lack when we're in abundance, share your abundance. The word of God just said that. If somebody comes asking that they're in a deficit, they need to borrow some of what you have in this marital account that's the both of your account anyway, lend it.
Now watch this. Now I'm finna throw something in a wrench.
Okay.
Now, we won't do this for our spouse.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll go to work, we'll go to church, and we'll go to our kids' schools and show that. And give that grace or that, that extra.
That's so
especially
true.
When work.
Oh, that's so true.
Because you like.
That check just attached to it.
Yeah, because the check attached to it. Now we'll be willing to, humble ourselves. And you be like, girl, I ain't even gonna go there. But let your spouse say something. You'll flip off the grid.
Yes, you will lose it.
But your boss talk to you any kind of way, and you be like, you know what?
I'm just suck this up.
I ain't even gonna say nothing.
Because I got these bills to pay, and until I find something else, I'm not even gonna say nothing.
Now, just imagine if you do that within your marriage. Where you say, you know what? I ain't even gonna, you know what? Today, I ain't even gonna go there with my husband. I'm gonna go ahead and just show him some love.
That would actually
because I would leave, but I'm just gonna show him some love. But when you show him that love, that'll change the atmosphere. That'll change everything.
That's it.
And all that you said that you would do will be gone.
To feel where we are lacking in a moment. Patient. Absolutely. Somebody has to be able to give what is needed, babe. But you said it absolutely correctly, because we do that so much with work. And a lot of times our jobs are not a lifelong commitment that we've made. Like, you switch jobs left and right. You may be committed to your career path, but the job may not be where you plan on being for the next few years. Now think about it. We made this we got into this covenant with the commitment, and that we will be in this unto death. And so if I'm in something unto death, I should be willing to humble myself to make it work.
Yeah, see, we are in a covenant with God when we're in a marriage. When if it's your career, that's a contract.
Come on now.
Because guess what? At any given time, your job, your career, can just stop the job right there.
Bye.
They can come in one day and just say, boom, we don't need you no more. And it have happened. With your spouse can do that as well. But up under that covenant that God has, covered you guys. Yeah. It's totally different. Yeah. But we don't do that for our spouse.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and jump to the next point so we can get ready and close out.
Point 6, sometimes withdrawals will be made by your spouse from deposits that you have made. Sometimes withdrawals will be made by your spouse from deposits that you have made. I think that's some of what we were talking about. That, Just really, we eat off each other, guys. That's what this whole marital account is, this relationship account is. We're both depositing. We may be depositing at different rates. We may be depositing different things. We may deposit at different times. But at the end of it, the account is there to sustain the union, to sustain the two of us, for us to be able to live off of and thrive off of and grow off of. And so you can't look at what you individually put into your marriage account. You got to take the time to assess it. You got to take the time to see where it lacks. You got to take the time to do the inventory. Like, if anybody that wants to get out of a bad credit situation, or wants to really maximize their finances, they begin to assess where they are. They begin to assess what comes in. They assess what goes out. Yeah. They assess areas where they may be spending frivolously in. They assess needs versus wants. They begin to really drill down how to make their finances work. That's the same thing you have to do with your marriage when you're in a place that your marriage is not thriving the way you want it to thrive. You got to start assessing your marital account. You got to start looking at, what do you have? Like, where are we lacking? And if we're lacking in an area, are we both lacking in that area? Or is one of us just lacking? And if one of us is just lacking, then we know that we got some room to really pour into this situation by this one person. Now, if both of us are lacking, now we got to get some outside help. Because you can't pour into an account what you don't have. And so many times, we don't want to get outside help. We don't put ourselves around friends. Our marriage circle is weak. We don't got people that can speak into our marriage. We don't read marriage books. We don't go to marriage conferences. We don't watch marriage shows. We don't go to marriage counseling. We don't do anything, but we sit there in a drought. We sit there with a depleted negative account when the resources to begin to build that account back up are right there at your hands, right there at your feet, and we don't utilize them. That's foolish, guys. It's foolish to not go and get resources that you need from somewhere else when the two of you lack the funds needed to feed that account. You got to be able to go and get what you need to begin to fuel and feed your marriage.
And I think one of the problems is, I think a lot of people don't even pull their accounts up just to see what has been taken out, what's going in, what's going out. Yep. Because if you do that, then you can kind of manage the savings.
Yep.
You can manage what's going out, manage
Yep.
what's coming in.
Yep.
And likewise, in your marriage, how many people do check-ins?
Yep.
Just to see where your spouse at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if everything going okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where are you spiritually? Where are you financially at?
Yeah.
Just emotionally.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we can get caught up in the whirlwind and just forget about and just get tunnel vision and forget about our spouse.
Yeah, because life happens to us all. And Ronald said something about check-ins, and that's something that we do, and we always encourage any couples that we coach to begin to implement check-ins. We do monthly check-ins where we kind of come together, we go out, we just eat dinner, talk, and we just begin to talk about the last month. How has the last month been? Mm-hmm. What has been some challenges? What has been some great points for us? What has been some enjoyable moments? What are some areas we can improve in? Where are we struggling in? Where are we thriving in? We sit down and we do that monthly because we know that month to month things change. Yeah. Like it can be, and we can come to the table sometimes, and we've had an awesome month, and we don't have anything negative to say. We don't have any criticism to give each other. Everything is on the up and up. And so you got to be able to really start checking in with each other and really start assessing what you have in your marriage so that it works for you. You got to start maximizing your marital account.
Yeah, you do.
The same way you maximize your money. Like, we can take $100, guys, when we really need to, anybody in life, and we will stretch that $100. You hear me?
Stretch.
We will stretch that $100 to the next payday. Now, if you can't take what's in your marital account and stretch it until the next deposit, you're not maximizing your marital account.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how. If you don't know how to do that, you're not putting in the time. You're not putting in the work. You're not utilizing the resources to really maximize what you have and really use it for your good and use it for your benefit. You should be able to stretch 50% of communication until 50% more is deposited. You should be able to stretch 25% of patience until you build up 75% more patience. Ooh, you got to be doing the work, guys.
Doing the work is going to be the key.
Yeah. And see, the only reason why we are so apt and so able to stretch money, because we know, okay, I get paid in 2 more weeks, or I get paid in the next week. So I got to make it to this day. We have a time frame, a timeline that we can see. We know we're sitting there in expectancy. With marriage, that timeline is not there. You're not sitting there in expectancy. And so you may have to stretch for 6 months.
Yeah.
You may have to stretch for a year. You don't know when the stretching is going to end. But the point is, you have the ability to stretch. That's what you got to know. And that's what you got to maximize. You got the ability to stretch what you need to be able to make it to the next deposit season. And as long as you're connected to the source, God will never allow you and allow your marriage to begin to die because of a lack of resources. Now, he's gonna call on you to really maximize the resources that you have.
Yeah, he's gonna stretch you.
Yeah, he's gonna stretch
your faith.
Exactly. And the stretching starts.
Sometimes he'll stretch us to see how bad we really want it.
Absolutely.
Do you really want to be in this marriage? Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna stretch you a little bit.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna stretch some of your patience a little bit. I'm gonna stretch some of your love a little bit.
That you say you got.
The love that you say you got. Let me stretch it. Let me pull on it. Let me put some stretch marks on it. See, stretch marks are those wounds. So you should have some faith stretch marks. You should be able to have some testimony to say, look, this is the area that God stretched me in.
Man.
Because the stretching is not for you. It's to show others and to let them know that what God can do.
Yeah.
So when you show your faith stretch mark, you can say, look, I did this. You know, God, you see right here?
Yep.
It was at the point where, he stretched me a little bit. So that's your testimony right there.
Yep.
See, I went through this, this point in my life right here where I really didn't even have the love for my spouse. But guess what? It was God who gave me that love.
Yeah.
For when he poured it into me, I poured it into her.
Yes.
Or I poured it into him.
Yes, absolutely. Number 7, switching banks does not solve the problem. Switching banks does not solve the problem. The banks are not the problem. Your balancing is off. What does that mean, Ronna Harris?
Switching banks. So it's like you get disappointed and you want to leave your first marriage.
Yep.
And you say, you know what? I'm just going to find me somebody that's going to be with somebody else. And you get to that person, guess what? You got the same issues. And some people even take it upon themselves to go, so I'm going to get a divorce. I'm going to go marry somebody else.
Yeah.
But guess what? You are the the common denominator.
Exactly.
In all the different types of, the 3 marriages that you done been in. So who's really the problem? You know, if you keep overdrawing your account at Wells Fargo, and then you say, you know what, man, they charging me these high fees every time I overdraw, so I'm going to go to SunTrust. Then you go to SunTrust, and then you don't manage your money right, and then you start, you know, getting overdraft fees. You say, you know what, I'm going to go to Bank of America. Then you go to Bank of America, and you still having overdraft fees. You are not managing what you have.
No.
And so when you take it to the marital realm, you are the only common denominator out of the 3 marriages.
Yep.
So you have to begin to look at yourself in the mirror
Yep.
to say that it's something that I am not doing right.
Yeah.
I'm not making the right deposit. Because sometimes, you know, you can make a wrong deposit.
Yeah.
Fraudulent checks.
That's so good.
Some people
I felt that in my spirit.
Really?
But I did. I felt that in my spirit. I'm going to tell you why. I felt it in my spirit because we do that so much in this world where we want people to envy what we have. We want to look like we got it together on social media. Everybody wants to be perfect.
I call it FBF.
What's that?
Facebook flexing. You know, we all like to, you know, we want to make it look like we got it all together.
Yes.
You know, we doing well, you know, me and Babe, you know, you taking, but in the real world with you and Babe, it's not you and Babe.
It's not you and Babe.
You know, you and Babe ain't the same person on Facebook as you are in real life. So what you're doing, you writing a fake check and you depositing it on Facebook and saying, hey, this real right here. And once the check is scanned, the insignificant funds, you know, you get that little notice.
Insufficient. They're like, wait a minute.
And, you know, you get that little notice. And we done got a couple of them. Yeah, so we know.
That, hey, your account is overdrawn.
You know, we're not telling you guys something that we haven't done or we haven't experienced.
Yes.
This is real life stuff.
Absolutely.
And, you know, what happened is, going back to the marital part is, we take a fake check and we go and try to deposit it. Now, even if, watch this, now this is real. Even if you take a fake check, right, and you go to the ATM will take it.
Will it?
Yeah. Like if I write a check, a fraudulent check.
Y'all don't do it.
Don't do it. But it'll scan it. But watch this. You won't be able to take all that money. And when the next day comes and these people find out that this check is fraudulent, you're going to have some issues. So whoever owns
so there's going to be
the
some
account,
consequences behind that fake check.
Behind it. So, whoever account it is going to pay for it.
Yeah. Ooh, and we do that all the time
So
in marriage.
we go deposit fake love. We deposit fake patience. Because these are the fake checks that we write in the beginning of our marriage or the beginning of our relationship. Like, girl, I love you. Boop, deposit. I love you.
I'm going to always be there for you. Boop, deposit. I got all this commitment in my heart for you. Boop, deposit.
I do anything for you.
Boop, deposit.
I love you.
Boop, deposit.
I want to be with you
the
every
rest
day.
of my life. Boop, 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 boop. Deposit.
And so what happens is you done deposit all these fake checks. And now you have accumulated this high balance that is fraudulent. And so once the bank open up the next day and they see that all these, guess what they do? They send the sheriff out to your house. So in the marital world, once the person find out that you are making fraudulent checks,
You get served on papers.
you get served on papers. That's it.
Yeah, it comes to an end. Like,
it comes to an end.
But baby, that is so real what you just said, because I don't think that people really think about when you deposit fake things into your marriage.
Yeah.
And how impactful it is. And so when you go in and you deposit this worldly love and not agape love, not that unconditional love, but you deposit this conditional love with a stamp that says unconditional. And then when it's time to cash in on that unconditional love, you're not able to provide it because you never had it. Because what you professed to be unconditional was very conditional. That is how marriage works. That's how marriage accounts work. You can't put monopoly money into these marriage accounts and then want to cash it in like it's real.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Like people who make it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years, they're not making phony deposits.
No.
They're not making fake deposits. They deposit in what is real. And the thing about it is to deposit what is real is a sacrifice. Like anytime I got to go and deposit a large amount of money that I really want to spend, but I can't touch right now because it's for an investment and it's for the future, but I really want to use it now. It's a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice. And so when you put it in there, it's not working for you right now. But the moment you will need it in the future, you got enough stored up that you can cash in on it.
Cash out.
But we don't do that. We put the fake money there. We won't have nothing for today. Definitely not nothing for tomorrow.
Guess what? We eat our seeds. We don't plant our seeds.
You're an offering, boy.
All right, girl, you about to make me speak in tongues. So instead of planting our seeds, we begin to eat our seeds.
Yes.
So we don't plant for harvest.
Mm-hmm.
We go ahead and eat that right now. See, a lot of people eat sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
Have you seen somebody take the sunflower seed and pop it and put it in their mouth and swallow it? Or they buy the one without the shell and they pour it on their hand.
They just
be
eating it. Yeah.
See, but if you take the time out to plant that sunflower seed, you can grow more. Instead of when you finish the apple, throwing the seed in the trash, keep that apple seed.
Reproduce
and reproduce it. But what we do as people, because how the world is set up, you're living for today.
No plan for tomorrow.
No plan for tomorrow. So go ahead and eat your seeds.
Yeah.
Continue to eat your seeds and see what happened 5 years from now.
That's good.
That's one of the kings when he asked Joseph to interpret his dream.
Yeah. Pharaoh.
Ask him what happened. If he went and did, stored up something.
Yeah. And I think we talked about that.
We did talk about it.
How even in that, the teaching was, you're going to have 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine. And that's what impacts marriages truly, that we don't store up our marital account for the 7 years of famine. We store up, and we experience 7 years of plenty, but we just blowing the plenty. See, when you don't store up in the abundance, and you just blow the abundance, when the drought comes, and the drought is sure to come in every marriage. You will always have drought seasons in your marriage. They may not be the same. It may not be the same experience that we have. Drought seasons can come on from many different things. It can come on from a loss of a child. It can come off from an illness. It can come off from a financial setback. Anything can create a drought season in your marriage. And if you haven't, in the times of abundance, stored up what you need to be able to live in the drought season, you're going to be in a famine. You're not going to have what you need. You're going to find yourself at a deficit. And so you really got to work hard to ensure that at every moment you're maximizing what you have in your marriage, and you're maximizing what God gives you to be able to have it, have the longevity of it, to be able to feed it over a season. Hard time finding where the conference will be in Atlanta. Sorry to interrupt. Shamia, no, it's not the place. The location is not listed. It's in Atlanta. We're solidifying the location this week, and so it will be updated on the ticket. But if you just go in and get your ticket on the link that's on our page, you should be able to follow the Eventbrite page and kind of just click in and get your tickets. And then once we update it, it'll show in your email where the update is on the location.
And we'll also once it should be this week, and we'll just keep posting the location.
Yeah.
And so if you just check back with the Married by God page, you'll continue to see it being posted.
Yeah. But yeah, you have to and let me see if I can while we on here, I think I can copy this
the link.
Yeah, I might can copy it and put it in the comments while we're on live, because like I said, we have less than 5 tickets. And it's closing out today, guys. So as soon as it closes out today and those tickets are gone, that will absolutely be it. I think you can get it this way. I don't know if it'll allow you to follow it that way, but hopefully it does. I put the link in that way. Hopefully it does. But we definitely want you guys to come out that can come out in Atlanta. We have less than 5 tickets left. It's on October 15th. We're 2 weeks away. And we talked about this being our last scope before we actually do the conference.
And we said that 2 weeks ago.
We did. And we will come live from the conference, guys. And so if you are somewhere else and you are not able to get to Atlanta to enjoy this conference live and in person, we're going to live stream the conference.
Now, we're not going to live stream all of it. So if you can be there, you want to make sure you can get there. But we are going to have little snippets,
Absolutely.
Going to tease you a little bit. We're not going to give you all of it because you should have been there.
Absolutely. And our last point is, if your marriage never becomes a lending place to someone else, you haven't learned how to maximize your marital account. I'll say that again. If your marriage never becomes a lending place to someone else, you haven't learned to maximize your marital account. So many times we don't get that concept in the Bible where it talks about becoming a lender and not a borrower. That's across the board in our marriage, in our relationships. You have to learn how to maximize your marital account in a way that you can begin to lend to those around you. You should be able to pour out from your resources into the marriages around you. You should be able to begin to feed them in a way that they can grow and they can prosper and they can come sound, and they can have a surplus in their marriage based off of what you share. You should be able to invest from your marital bank and your marital account to someone else. God doesn't bless marriages, and he doesn't bless your marriage to just sit there and be blessed. God ain't doing that for you to just be cool. Like,
that's selfish.
No, exactly. It's for kingdom building, guys. And your kingdom building may not be on the level of MBG. It could supersede MBG. It could just be feeding the marriages around you. It could be encouraging somebody at work that's having a tough time in their marriage and feeling like they want to give up, and you become the inspiration, the support, the guidance, the prayer partner, the support system to get them through that season. If you don't allow God to let you become a lender to other marital accounts, you're not maximizing what you have.
Because you got to realize this too. He's going to give you your audience.
Yep.
So even if it's just 3 couples, you minister to those 3 couples because you may be the only word that they get. Or you may be the only word that they understand.
Absolutely.
And so that's why you the church. You the person that they're going to come to.
Yep.
You're going to be the person that they're going to glean to. And so you have to be being poured into in order to pour into them. You can't continue to pour and pour, and then you get depleted. So you also have to, come back to the source to get filled up.
Absolutely.
And so you definitely want to be a blessed, because we are blessed to be a blessing to others.
Absolutely. So guys, that's all the points we had. We just wanted to come on and do that quick teaching about your marital account and maximizing your marital account and ensuring that you pour as much into it, even more into it than you take out, so that it can always be there to sustain you for the long haul, because marriage is tough sometimes, guys, and we got to make sure that we have what we need when we need it. And anytime you're plugged in, connected to the source, which is God, you will have the resources that you need. And in the moments that you feel like you don't have what you need, those are the seasons that God is stretching you. Like Ronald said, he's putting those stretch marks on your faith. He's putting stretch marks on your love, stretch marks on your commitment, stretch marks on your patience, stretch marks on your peace. Whatever area that you feel like you're struggling in, he's trying to build more of that in you. If you say you have it, the only way to fully build it and get more of it is to utilize it. It's to put you in positions and situations that pull on it more and that have you digging deeper to share it and digging deeper to pour it out to somebody else. And so, guys, we will see you next time, October 15th.
Next week.
I said 15th. October 14th, live from the Think It Strong conference. We are super, super excited. I will be opening up the conference as the first speaker. They decided to let me go, since it's ladies first. It's 3 of those guys and then just me. So they decided to let me go first, being gentlemen. So I'm going to open it up. We're going to start on time. We have a very tight schedule, but we're going to have absolute fun. The conference kicks off at 10 o'clock. So if you are there at 10:01, you are already late and probably missed something. But we're going to be having a great explosive time. We have some quick games, some giveaways, some great food that we're going to have. We're going to be taking fun pictures, and the word is going to be on fire, guys. It's going to be on fire. Some of the teachings that from what I've just heard, I'm ready to hear. Like, look, guys, I'm ready to hear what these guys are going to deposit and what God is going to use them to say at this conference. I'm going to be there taking my own notes. So I am excited, guys. If the tickets sell out and you so happen really desire to come to the conference, inbox us. We will see what we can do. But today is the last day for tickets. It's less than 5 tickets left, and maybe less than that based on some people who want to run over and get tickets. They may be gone. So if they are gone, feel free to inbox us. If you truly want to be at the conference and you know that you will be committed to coming, feel free to come. We love you guys. We hope you have a blessed night, and we will see you guys next time.